devotional for October 16th, Pastor Todd here. The Old Testament law reflects God's character. By studying the Old Testament law, we learn what God is like, who He is. For example, some of the character traits we learn about Him. One is grace, which means He gives us what we don't deserve, because He's a gracious God. In Joel chapter 2, verses 12 and 13, the prophet says, "Even now declares the Lord, return to me with fasting and weeping and mourning." He says, rend your heart, not your garments. Return to the Lord your God. In other words, it's not just about making a show of, oh, I'm in trouble or how sorry I am, but it's about getting your heart really right with God. And the good news, He says, return to the Lord your God, for He is gracious, compassionate, slow to anger, abounding in love, and He relents from sending calamity. So we learn about God from the prophet Joel that He is a gracious God. We also learn that He is holy. There's nobody like Him. In Isaiah 40, verse 25, the prophet Isaiah tells us, "To whom will you compare me, or who is my equal, says the Holy One." In other words, God says, I am unique. There's nobody like me. So we learn about Him being holy. Psalm 7, verse 11, we learn that He is a God who gets angry, that He's a God of wrath. Psalm 7:11 reads, God is a righteous judge. He displays His wrath every day. So we always talk about God being loving, but He is also a God who is just. And because of that, there are times where He is angry. And then we learn that He is a God of loving kindness. Back again to Joel chapter 2 and verse 13. He is a God of loving kindness, a God who chooses to wrap His arms around us, to support us, to show us that He cares so much that He came in pursuit of us, and that's the good news of Jesus Christ. You see, we know what God is like as we look at His traits in the Old Testament law, and that helps us to recognize His presence.